Good morning, my name's Kurt. I'm with Vermeer, and we'll go over some of the basics here of spot utilities. We've got the hose hooked up already. I don't know if somebody showed everybody how to do this yet or not, but this hose, it's a spiral bound hose, so easiest way to get the tool on and off the hose, for one guy to do it, you kind of use your knees to squeeze it, and you turn that tool counterclockwise. It'll wrap right out of the hose, or if you're putting it on, you just pull and turn counterclockwise, and that way it'll loosen up the spiral wrap on that hose, and the tool will slide right in like that. All right, we've got our digging tool here. This is a rotary nozzle style tool. So when you turn the water on, the water's going to come out in a circular motion. Great for digging. You don't want to use it to clean up equipment or anything, because it'll peel stickers and peel paint off, but it's great for digging. So one thing is, make sure when you're using it that you don't have it aimed up in the air and squeeze the trigger. If you do, there's a little porcelain piece in there that will slam forward, and if you do that enough times, it'll break it. So when you start using it, make sure it's always pointed down. That way that little porcelain ball in there that causes that spinning motion, it's at the bottom. When you start the water up, it won't slam it, it won't break it. With a vacuum, the best thing you can do is get a locator, and even though one call might have the paint on the ground, if you can come out and verify it and pinpoint exactly where it's at, you'll spend less time digging, you'll have less mess, you have less dirt to haul back in and fill that hole back up. So even when one call's out there and they've located, I'll go ahead and get your locator out and pinpoint it so you know right where to dig. The method I like to use, right now we've got our utility marks here. What I'll do is I'll generally go down a few inches on each side of the mark. Once I verified it, I know that's where it's at, I'll make a square, maybe about a 4x4 square, just big enough to get the tool into, the suction tool. And you make that square and cut it down. And if you miss it, if you get, let's say we get 6 feet down and we haven't found it, then what I'll do is I'll cut a thin little slot side to side, just wide enough to get the tip of the tool in there, until I can poke down in there and kind of feel that utility. And once you do that, then you can open it up a little bit more. But again, it speeds up the process, less dirt to bring back in. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. And the vacuum's got vacuum, neutral, and pressure on it. So the vacuum portion of it is for running the vacuum, obviously. If you plug it, something gets plugged in the hose, there's a red handle on the front of the tank. You can flip it to pressure and use that to blow your rock or blow your spoil out of your hose. So we'll go ahead and start it up and start digging here. It's one thing we should talk about is PPE. Since we are going to be doing digging, you're going to have some material being splattered and thrown. Eye protection is always pretty crucial, so you don't get dirt or stones or sand blown in your eyes. Whatever other PPE that Carol EMC requires, vest, hard hat, stuff like that. But definitely you want to make sure you've got eye protection on to protect your eyes from thrown objects here. line down in there. You can see it, visually verify it. If you want to clean it out around it, you just take your water knife and clean out around the sides now and dig it out however you need to be able to see it and verify it. See it down in there. The water, the pressure being set where it's at, so you're more likely to damage utility by hitting it and ramming with that PVC tool than you are with the water. So just got to make sure you're not poking or jamming anything into the ground, but letting the water do the cutting, letting the PVC suck the mud out, and that's about it.